All right, everyone, we're going to continue with our next speaker. We are very happy to have one of our longest Alliance program participants here with us today. The American Society of Safety Professionals has been a national alliance since, I want to say, 2003, 2004, so it's been a number of years. They're one of our trusted partners, an Alliance program ambassador, and we are very happy to have Blaine Krage, who is Senior Media Relations Specialist with ASSP, and is going to give some words. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Christy, for the introduction. And it's great to be here. Thanks for joining us today to learn about the American Society of Safety Professionals, which you may not know a lot about, but hopefully 10 minutes from now, you'll know a lot about ASSP. So I'm Blaine, as Christy said, from ASSP Communications. And ASSP is a global membership society that is entirely focused on improving workplace safety. That's all we do. So ASSP is again, a global organization. We've got 35,000 members around the world. And all of our members are strictly focused on how can they improve safety for their workers. And they come from all industries. So wherever you work, wherever anyone works, there is a person there, there are people there that are responsible for risk management, worker safety, and it's those people that may be members of ASSP. And that's because we provide education, we provide events, we provide networking for safety professionals to get together to learn about workplace safety, and they can turn around and bring that knowledge back to their employers and make safer work environments. So in a nutshell, that's ASSP. Let me tell you a little bit about our history and how we got started. So there was a New York City fire that spurred change back in 1911, and that was the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in New York City. And it was a horrific event. It killed 146 garment workers, mostly young women and girls. And this clearly outraged a lot of people, and there was a major call for action. And it led to the creation of the United Association of Casualty Inspectors, which is ASSP. We've changed our name a couple of times over the years. So we were created later in 1911 after that horrific fire. And like I mentioned, we're the world's oldest professional safety organization. So we're happy to be right there in the beginning of things. And again, 35,000 members worldwide. So we've got a great network. In 2023, there was a great memorial built at the original building in Lower Manhattan to honor the 146 victims. And that project was led by Remember the Triangle Fire Coalition. But if you've never been to see this memorial, and again, it hasn't even been around for a year yet, but if you haven't been to Lower Manhattan, it's definitely worth a visit. It's a terrific memorial, very inspirational, very moving, and definitely worth your time if you're in that area. And more details on that memorial, you can find them at trianglefirememorial.com. So this handsome group of people is our ASSP Board of Directors. They are volunteer leaders, and our president serves a one-year term, which means that every year I get a new boss. I don't know if is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, but once a year we get a new president. So in the upper left on the screen, you see Jim Thornton. He's currently our president through June 30th. And next to Jim, you see Pam Walaski. She will take over as our new leader on July 1st. So that is the ASSP Board of Directors. Regarding our strategic focus, like I had talked about, we are the community that protects people, property, and the environment. Now, when you look at our vision statement here, and this is really important to us, and this is a new vision statement that our board adopted last year. which is the safety, health, and well-being are inherent rights of every worker. And we truly believe this. This is very important to us. It doesn't matter where you work, how old you are, what your skin color is, you have the right to go home safe and healthy at the end of the workday. So this vision is something that leads and guides ASSP in everything that we do. Also guiding ASSP are these clear values that you see, which conveniently spell the word clear. Starting at the top there, you see community, leadership, excellence, accountability, and respect. So these are core values at ASSP that we keep in mind as we handle our daily operations. I want to tell you about 3 important developments at our organization. The first being our position on child labor. Now, when a lot of people think about this particular issue, they think of other countries and that it's a problem, elsewhere in the world. And while child labor may be more prominent in other countries, it is an issue right here in the United States. And so last month, our board of directors wanted to draw more attention to this important issue. So our board adopted that top bullet point, our statement, which says ASSP opposes all forms of exploitative child labor and supports legislation and regulation that address such practices. Very, very important. And while statistics are hard to come by on this topic, the International Labor Organization does estimate that 22,000 children are killed every year at work. That's unacceptable, and that has to change. So what we're trying to do is put this issue back into the spotlight so more organizations are aware of it. It's not something ASSP can solve by ourselves, but working with other organizations, we can certainly make some headway here. And ASSP, I should say, does support reasonable approaches to young people working. Everyone may be familiar with the family business, and you may see kids helping out and performing reasonable tasks, and that's okay. We're simply against children being exploited, children being placed in dangerous and high-risk situations. That's unacceptable. Our heat stress management standard, and I first should say regarding standards, ASSP is highly engaged in developing workplace safety standards. So we bring experts together who know of what the industry best practices are, and we develop a bunch of standards that companies can follow. Now, we cannot require companies to follow our standards. We're not OSHA, we're not the government, which is why our standards are referred to as voluntary consensus standards. They are optional, but they go a long way to reducing injuries, illnesses, and fatalities on the job. So this is our latest work that we're really proud of, our heat stress management standard, which was published in February. Now, this is a groundbreaking standard, and that's because there currently is no national federal standard that is focused on heat stress. So this is the first of its kind. And by adopting this type of standard, employers can get a good idea as to how to give their workers proper rest, water breaks, and shade while meeting business needs. That's very important. You got to meet business needs at the same time. So, and while this standard is focused on specifically on construction and demolition workers, it really is a standard that can be adapted to any outdoor job. So any employer who has people who work outside can adopt this standard to better protect their workers. So we're really happy that it finally become a reality, and we're trying to spread the word that it's out there because heat stress is a significant issue. As you can see in that first bullet point there, more than 400 worker deaths in the past decade or so. So this does have to be addressed, and we think this standard is a great way to help do that. And lastly, I want to speak a little bit about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think that first bullet point you see on the screen nicely summarizes where we stand as an organization. And that is that ASSP is committed to a culture in which everyone's experiences, perspectives, and identities are honored, respected, and celebrated. That is very important to us. You know, there are a lot of people out there that don't believe that DEI is connected to workplace safety. We believe that. We know that it is. And I suppose perhaps one of the top examples that it is connected is PPE, personal protective equipment. And for decades, as you may know, PPE had always been designed for me, right? A 6-foot man, PPE would always fit my body type. But again, it wasn't being designed for women, for people of all, shapes and sizes, but now it is. There are companies out there that are designing PPE that will fit a variety of different people. And that is so important because if it's designed for me, it's not going to necessarily fit all of you here. And when PPE does not fit, it puts you at risk and makes your job more dangerous. So we're glad that companies have come along and now design PPE for, again, all body types. And that's one of the ways that DEI is connected to workplace safety. And there are many other examples as well. But it's important for organizations to be looking at that. So that is, in a nutshell, ASSP, who we are and what we do. And I'm certainly open to taking any questions that you may have about our organization. Yes.
Standard specify structural demolition. How is it different from other?
Yeah. And the main reason, you're talking about the heat stress standard and how we do focus it on construction and demolition workers. The main reason for that, whenever a standard is developed, it has to be focused in a way, right? And obviously in the construction and demolition areas, these are people that are outside all the time. And so that was why we focused it there. As far as how and why it can be adapted, you're saying, to other workers. Now, of course, I'm not a particular expert on this standard, but because it covers, how to give proper rest and water breaks and how to work all of that in successfully and still meet business goals, there are common objectives there. And so when you read through the standard, you'll sort of see those commonalities to where, hey, I can do that with my workers. They might not be handling that particular task exactly, but there's enough in common there where you'll see the connection. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions that you may have about ASSP? Excellent. Well, thank you very much. It was great to be here.